Today we're doing a vlog about deer hunting stories, stuff like that. Me and cameraman, we're gonna talk about our hunting stories. So I'm gonna tell the one from last year first. So what happened was, me and my dad got out in the blind. We're grunting, buck grunt. We heard back, and I was shaking. I started shaking right there because I know it's a buck. He walked in, and I didn't see him for like the first 10 minutes of it. He stepped over and then started walking right out. So I went, and went, and hit his shoulder or something. But he mule kicked. But I didn't. So we waited about 2 hours. Went out there and took my arrow. It was split in half. Broadhead was cut. Like the broadhead was bent. So we started tracking. Got good blood. Got good blood everywhere. Stopped. And then he did a big circle. More blood. More blood. And then he sat and started bleeding out of both sides. And then we tracked him the next morning. He went to a swale, washed himself out, and the blood stopped. So this year's buck, we got out in the blind. Doe steps out, just a little doe. I wouldn't have shot her. Stepped out. Waited about an hour and a half, and that buck, 2 bucks. We think two bucks walked out that night. One stepped over the ridge and went up and like stood up, and I think he was a bigger buck. Jumped away, and he was gone. And then 5 minutes later, my buck stepped up, and he was quartering towards me like that shot right there, and I went thunk, and he mule kicked so high, it was crazy. So we started tracking him, and good blood, good blood, good blood. The arrow was broken in half again though, so I was nervous. Good blood. Stopped for a second, poured out. It's like so I took a bucket and spilled it everywhere, and yeah, picked him up by his antlers and smoked him. So now we're gonna be talking about his story.
Alright, so my story is about my 2 bucks and a doe. So this year it was a pretty good season. As you guys were hearing, my buddy Roger had a good season too. So I'll tell you about my doe I shot. I was sitting there at deer camp like usual of every weekend for bow. And then we went up there, and then I told my dad, I'm gonna go sit near the bait pile. Go sit near the bait pile with the 2-gallon bucket near the Apaches. So I was like, 5-gallon bucket, sorry. And, here comes a doe. I'm like, I wasn't sure if it was a nice doe or a little one, but it was a nice doe, so I was like, okay, so pulled up the crossbow, turned off safety, here she comes, steps to an opening that big. I'm like, screw it, taking it. Dunk! Smacked her. She come running off. I heard the crash. It was like a car running through woods. And it was terrible. So I waited up there about half hour. Went out tracking with the buddies there. And it was hard because she was on an angle and I could hit one of her lung, but I hit her stomach when it came out because I couldn't tell on the angle she was. So I was pretty bummed about that. I was like, Dad, we didn't get her. We didn't get her. So I was like, alright, well, oh my God, there's a bunch of blood on that tree where she crashed into. Keep walking, keep walking. As soon as we hit the 2-track, my dad says I had to pee. So I wait, I'm looking around. I'm like, what's flashing? I'm like, my dad says, what are you doing? I said, I'm trying to look for my doe. He's like, alright. So I look, I'm like, I found her. I run over there. I'm like, man, that's a nice doe. I was pretty happy about that. So.
Tell your 5 you shot in Casca first, and then tell your littler 5 you shot down here.
Alright, so Kalkaska buck up in Five Lake. It's pretty good hunting. It's swampland, and what you do is you want to get the perfect place where all the deer run through. So I hunt close to a creek and a 2-track, but I'm in a little hole. So I was sitting there first night we got there. First night. We're staying up there for a week. First night we got there. 3 o'clock comes around. Me and my dad get ready to go out hunting. So I got my 7mm 08. My dad takes his 30-30. So here comes this buck. Like, I was sitting in the blind for like 30 minutes. Sitting there, and here he comes. Here he comes. I'm like, hurry up, pull up my rifle, aim on it. I'm like, I don't see no 3 points on one side. Because the rule up there is 3 or better on one side. So I shoot, I look for him. I see 3 on one side. I'm like, I'm taking him. Safety off. As soon as he got there, aimed right for the neck, dropped him. Right on the bait pile. So I waited there, ran up back to camp, went checked him out. I was like, yeah, this is a nice 5. I'll take it.
About, it kind of looks like this one right here. Wait a second. Sorry, guys. Kind of looks like him. That 5 right there. He's a nice 5. Not even lying.
So yeah, went and got my dad. My dad came back, and we're talking. I was like, yeah, I missed a buck. He was like, what? I said, yeah, I missed him. My gun must have been off. And I was like, he was like, wow. I was like, yeah. So I was like, hey, Dad, I gotta tell you something real quick. I smoked him. We go down there. We fire up the quad. Went down the 2-track. Went down in the hole. Picked him up. My dad was like, nice buck. I was so pumped for that. So yeah, loaded him up, gutted him, hang the balls in the tree, and took him up to the camp, showed all the boys. So yeah. So now I'll tell you about the 5-point I shot down here with the crossbow. So what was that? I think it was mid-season of crossbow hunting, and sitting there, because I missed a doe with my compound, and yeah, but here, right. So sitting there like this, I'm like, alright, sitting there, I hear something walk behind me. What is it? I get so scared. I'm like, what is it? And here comes a buck. Comes walk to the big hole. Pull up the crossbow. He didn't even know I was there. I was a tree stand. Safety off. Punk. Smack. Arrow stuck in the log. Passed through. He's sitting on the. I seen him run. I watched him. He's just standing there, wobbling. Then he kind of just walks behind the tree. Never seen him. So I went down there, grabbed the arrow, look at the blood on it. I'm like, nice blood. So I put it back in my quiver. And yeah, so went and got my dad, called my mom, said he shot a buck, and then me and my dad went and tracked him. I got scared because it was starting. We saw a bunch of them, no more. I was scared. I was like, oh no, Dad, I missed him. I just missed this buck. So we're like, oh, just keep looking. So we look. There's blood on the tree. Some more blood. No more. I look up. There he is. I run over there, kick him in the back, stab my arrow in his eye. He's done. I grab him. Pretty good season.
Wouldn't you say, what was it, an 8-inch spread?
8 or 9, yeah.
We had a good season. He shot a 10.5 spread buck. That was the Kalkaska buck. Then an 8.5 buck down here. Mm-hmm. I shot a 10.5 buck and a pretty fat doe. So, nice vlogging for you guys today. We're going to come up with more daily once we get more subscribers and stuff. Well, smoke them, cook them. Bye.